Here's a recap of lesson 1. So as we talked about the notes of the C major scale, right? We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, the fingerings, I want you to remember 1, 2, 3, and then here, see the way you want to pivot on the third finger, pull the first finger or the thumb underneath, and then immediately you're in position, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can keep going. Instead of playing a 5 on this, if you're going to keep going up, then you basically just reset. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull the thumb under again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can keep going as high as you want. And when you get to the top, make it a 5, and then you can go back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Wow, this phone is heavy. Okay, so that is C major scale, right hand going up and down. And again, that fingering is always going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you get to the top of what you're doing, then you go back down. Now, when you're practicing scales, this is the kind of thing that you'll want to do with a metronome, ideally. Let's see. So if you can set your metronome, the general tempo is 120 beats per minute, tends to be like a very go-to. And so let's just say this is roughly 120 beats. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna tap my foot. So here's how I would practice it. 1, 2, 3. Again, a metronome will actually be more accurate, but I'm just kind of giving you the idea. So this is, for every beat, play one note. Now, when you're first starting out, you might want to slow it down to, let's say this is probably roughly about like even 80 beats per minute instead of 120, might sound more like this. You get the idea. All right, so that's what you want to do with a metronome. Eventually, this is probably not something that you'll get comfortable enough to do in your first week, but if you can, great. What you can start to do is you can start to take, let's say we're doing it in 120 beats per minute, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you can do is start playing twice as fast. And then, So that's, again, if you're thinking about playing with a metronome and establishing good rhythm, you're always going to want to start slow and don't increase the tempo until you get comfortable enough with playing in the slower tempo. So start slow as you need to, really. And then eventually, when you get comfortable enough, then you can start to play twice, even 4 times as fast, all keeping the same tempo, like, you're not changing the speed of the metronome, but you're changing how fast you go through the scale. So that's everything we just covered, C major. Now, the same exact thing I just said applies to A minor. It's the same exact notes. Instead of starting on C, you start on A. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same notes, just start on A instead of C. All right, now, we're going to do the same thing with the left hand. This is the part that I haven't shown you, but I'm going to record it right now. In fact, if you want to record another short video of this one.
My phone's about to die.
Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it. I'll keep recording. All right, so left hand. Same thing, just the opposite. So here's one way to think of it. The fingerings of the left hand scale going down are the exact same fingerings as the right hand going up. So if we start on middle C with the left hand, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we're going up, it's the same fingerings as the right hand going down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. So same thing with A minor, right? If you start on A minor and work your way down, And actually, this might be the way I would practice it because it'll be less confusing probably when you think about fingerings. When you're starting, going up on the right hand major scales, you can do the same thing, like basically practice the right hand scale and then try the same thing, but try like say an A minor scale starting up and going down. Thanks. And then you can practice going up from there. But those finger changes are going to be the same. So the 1 slides under 3, and then on the way back up here, 3 goes over 1. So does that make sense? I mean, obviously our hands are mirror images of each other, so they're going to mirror each other in that way.
Right.
So that's just kind of scales 101. You have one major scale, one minor scale that you can practice that you never have to worry about the black keys as long as you're playing those 2 scales. And just a refresher, what we talked about with intervals, you learned a few intervals. So every half step means literally each consecutive key. So 1 half step above C is C sharp. Sharp is 1 half step above. Flat is half step below. So C sharp is the same note as D flat. Intervals, we've got perfect fifth, octave, and then major third, which is 2 whole steps above the first scale degree, which would be, in this case, C. But if you want to make that a minor third, just move that 1 half step down, which is technically 3 half steps up. So those are the scale intervals that we've learned so far. Minor third, major third, perfect fifth, octave. Now, when you're playing a major chord or a major triad, C major is going to look like C, E, G, because it consists of the first note, the first scale degree with major third plus perfect fifth, whereas the minor chord would be, minor triad would be minor third plus perfect fifth. All right, and same thing you can be played, of course, with the left hand as well. Same notes. And then if you do want to practice major chords and minor chords, you can do it in rhythm if you want, just like you can do a scale, just kind of, practice that kind of thing if you want. But the chords, scales are going to be better for developing rhythm in that sense. Okay, I think we basically covered middle C is always going to be C4, so first C, second C, C3, C4 for middle C. And I think that should give you plenty to work on after the first lesson.